What first drew me towards music is I was a teen poetess, and I didn't have a lot of confidence, and I was incredibly geeky, and I was incredibly intense and very annoying to all my English teachers, and I used to write 6 sonnets a day and be beyond tedious, I think. I used to jump out of cupboards with sonnets at people, and I came to London, and I'd always been told I couldn't sing, that my voice sounded like a foghorn. So it's one of those things that, you know, if someone says you can't do something, I'm a bit of an annoying person who, yeah, well, I thought, well, that's a bit unfair. I shall try and master the very thing that I am entirely shite at. So what I did was I started singing my poems. So I thought, oh, I know what I'll do, I'll join a band, and I joined a band in Guildford called Breathing System, and was incredibly goth for a while. In terms of what instrument I first learned to play, there was a harp, a horizontal harp, a Romanian harp in the barn of my commune childhood, which I used to just love hitting and doing weird experiments on, and I was given my grandmother's piano after she died, but my 80s pop trash moment meant that I had a mad, I had a mad sort of coke dealing manager whose best friend was really pissed off with her and stole my grandmother's piano. So it's kind of a harp and a piano were the first instruments that I played. But singing was the thing that paid the most, frankly. People took notice when I opened my mouth. Believe it or not. So there you go. Describe your first recording experience. Thomas Crimble, who is a friend of Michael Evis's and has a commune in the Welsh Mountains, had a 2-inch 8-track recording studio. And in 1976, or 77 or 78, can't remember exactly, well, I used to babysit for the people that owned the local health food shop, Smudger and Josie, and they had a band, and they were doing a demo in the middle of the Operation Julie drugs busts, and they were lacking a high note, and I was babysitting at the time, and I was allowed in the studio, and everyone looked at me and said, "Can you sing that note?" And I was so nervous I nearly pooed myself, but that was my moment to fall in love with the recording industry, and well, the rest, people, is history. To the first recording of a Eugenie Arrowsmith album. Well, the first album was a £500,000 loss leader on the Virgin 10 label, which was variously produced by John McBurney, Glenn Nightingale, Steve Hillage, and has never seen the light of day. So, leading up to it, I did a gig at Dingwall's, and I was with the band Breathing System, and a manager came down and said, "Think you should go solo, love? Drop the band?" And being a person of weak moral character and hungry for the main chance, I promptly did that, because in the band that I was in, I wasn't allowed to write any of the songs, and I was a poetess, and, you know, obviously with delusions of grandeur, and felt that I should be doing my own thing. So 20 years later, the first Eugenie Arrowsmith album that's actually going to be available for public consumption is coming out in 2009. Okay, I was working for the French label Georges V, doing PR for the Buddha Bar, and what I would say is, anyway, how did I become involved in Slow Down? Declan is very masterfully and has very masterfully produced my debut solo album after 20 years, because as my other one didn't come out, it doesn't count. So my first album is actually my second album. My first album will be my second album, and my first album is actually my second album, or something like that. And so he invited me to sing on Slow Down, because if he hadn't have done, I'd have killed him. Frankly, it wasn't going to happen. So he was fearful for his life and invited me to sing a few more tunes. That's it, folks. Over and out. Okay, future projects for Eugenie Arrowsmith. Okay, future projects. Okay, I got, first of all, and I'm being very open about this, I have 6 months of chemotherapy, where I will be releasing my album during it, because I feel that I am not going to be ashamed of being ill. So my main focus at the moment is on getting well, and unfortunately there's nothing they can do to fix my brain, but physically I'm going to be campaigning against toxins in the environment, and I'm going to be trying to launch a comedy career as well. I'm going to be doing a bit of stand-up comedy and releasing the album Declan AL-PHA-X very kindly produced for me in February, March 2009, as well as working continuously with the lovely people at the Big Chill. That's it.
Right, how actually Eugenie and I met was at a gig in Brighton at the Duglebury?
Duglebury, correct.
That's right,
Duglebury.
yes, with Dara J.
Kundalini Dub Lounge.
Yes, that's right. And I was doing a little mini tour for my album A Plea for Sanity. I was performing some tracks from that, and Eugenie was doing a set as well with a guitarist, and that's how we first met. And we both having had performed, both sat down, had a chat, had a drink, and then we discovered we had Buddha Bar in common because Eugenie was involved in some of the PR for Buddha Bar, and that's how it started.
Oh no! Was something you said felt like icicle rain on me. Then you left me alone. Didn't believe you could hurt me so. No, I can't rest. I lie awake